Good afternoon, everyone. Just going to give it a few minutes to let some folks trickle in here, and then we can get going. Welcome, everyone. For those who are just joining, I'm just going to give it another minute or so, and then I'll go ahead and jump in. Just to put it out there, reminder for everyone, this will be recorded. I'm going to start the recording right before we dive in just about another minute here. So. All right. Well, to be respectful of everyone's time, we'll go ahead and get going here. Welcome, everybody. This is the 2025 Double Up Food Bucks New York Advocate Training, where we will walk through the new 2025 Double Up Food Bucks Advocacy Toolkit today, answer any questions you all might have about advocating for the program. We encourage you all to, take part and help us scream from the rooftops to get this program funded in the New York State budget once again. So let me just share my screen here and we will get going. And let me record because I'm going to remember to record. I think it's already recording. Yes, I had it automatically set to do that because I thought I had. So this is recorded. So just want to make sure you all are aware that this is being recorded. But thank you, everybody. If I can just get a thumbs up that everybody can see 2025 Double Up Food Bucks Advocacy Toolkit on your screens. Feel free to come off mute as well if that's easier. Great. Alrighty. Yes. So, and as I mentioned, before we dive in, I want this to be very interactive. This is meant for you all. We want to make sure all of these resources are readily accessible to you all. If you have questions about anything that you see or wondering about anything else, feel free to drop it in the chat. Feel free to come off of mute, raise your hand, and I'll be more than happy to engage in a dialogue with you all here. But with that being said, let's go ahead and dive in. So the 2025 Double Food Bucks Advocacy Toolkit, it's meant as a resource to help you all and your organizations advocate for the program and implement your own Double Up Food Bucks New York advocacy campaigns or integrate Double Up Food Bucks advocacy into your ongoing campaigns you are already working on. As you all know, and I'm sure you all are familiar with this, Double Up Food Bucks, our goal as at Field and Fork Network here is to increase food security and build a more sustainable food system here in New York. And we're hoping that this toolkit, you will have access to all of the resources that you need to lead a successful campaign and help us achieve this goal. So first and foremost, navigating to this website, you're just going to go to our usual website, fieldandforknetwork.com. And then up at the top here under news and resources, you just go to Advocacy Toolkit, and that is what is going to bring you to the toolkit itself. We updated things from last year. We condensed things. So hopefully this time around, everything is in one cohesive spot for you all. It's easier to navigate and easier to access everything. That was our ultimate goal. But I'm just going to go through each piece here. And again, if there's any questions, just let me know. But starting down at the top here, we wanted to just outline food security in New York State, give you all a basis of where we're coming from and what we're talking about. And here's a little blurb. I'm not going to read through everything on the toolkit today, but you can get some background information on the current state of food insecurity in New York State, as well as there's different reports in here, including the May 2024 report that came out from the New York City Office of the Comptroller. Really great information in there, really great resources to just give you all a sense of where we are at currently and why we're advocating for this program. You'll find that when you talk to your elected officials, they're going to want to know, all right, well, we're already doing a lot. Why do we need to be doing more? Yeah, and it's always good to know, well, yes, we have a lot of programs happening, but people are still hungry. Here's some data. Here's some reports that outline and point to the statistics here. So they really like to see those things. So we made sure to provide a lot of that for you here in this blurb. Going down a little bit more here, we talk about some innovative solutions for food security. So just to give you the background on more about Field and Fork Network and specifically Double Up Food Bucks New York. Double Up Food Bucks New York, for those who don't know, is a SNAP matching nutrition incentive program. We have sites all across New York State, with the exception of New York City. We do not operate in the city itself, but our goal is to be in every single county outside of New York City by the end of 2027. We are increasing counties year over year, and we are rapidly growing and expanding to help us meet that goal. But just to take a step back to make sure everyone is kind of fully familiar and understanding of, all right, what do we mean when we say SNAP? What do we mean when we say nutrition incentive program? We put these useful tools here so you can just hover over. I'm sure all of you know what SNAP is, but for those who need just that little extra reminder, you can just hover over these boxes to get a more in-depth explanation as to what all of these terms that you frequently hear are. So that's SNAP, Nutrition Incentive Programs, same thing. Learning more about what a nutrition incentive program is. They're meant to enhance the impact of SNAP and other similar programs by promoting healthy eating habits across the state and across the nation. But just has more information about what a nutrition incentive program is and how they work in their effectiveness at helping to combat food insecurity. And for those who are curious, while we get funding from various sources for the Double Up Food Bucks program, we also get funding from GusNIP, which you might hear about. GusNIP stands for the Gus Schumacher Nutrition Incentive Grant Program. It is a federal grant program that comes out of the USDA. And we've received many grants through GusNIP, and we currently are in a 4-year grant period right now with GusNIP. And that's one of our main tools that we use when we go to the legislature asking for state support. When New York State hears that Double Up Food Bucks is bringing additional federal dollars into New York State, that bells and whistles go off in their heads. They really like to hear that. So since that will likely be a point that comes up in any meetings with elected officials or any members that you meet with, I wanted to throw in a little bit of background about GusNIP there, just so you have that background in case they ask for, well, what are those federal dollars? Where is that coming from? That'll tell you all that you need to know. Let me just do a scan. How's everyone doing so far? I don't see any questions in the chat, so we'll go ahead and keep going here. Next down here is just an overview, a quick New York State overview of Double Up Food Bucks in the state. Again, this is just some general information about Field and Fork Network, about the program itself, how long it's been running, the details about it. And then if you click view the numbers, you get a quick glance of what the program is doing and how we're operating. Down here, these are the main fact sheets that we have listed out for you all to access here. And right here at the top is the main one that you will be using and bringing to your meetings with elected officials that you have. It's the 2024 Double Up Food Bucks Impact Report. So you just click on each of these ones that you want to see, and that should bring you right to the reports here. You all should have access to these. If you are going through and for whatever reason you don't seem to have access or can't open anything, just reach out to us, either contact me directly, or there's our info@fieldandforknetwork.com email address. Just shoot us an email there and we'll make sure you have all of the resources you need to successfully implement your campaigns and get access to any of those resources that are here on the website. Again, I'm not going to walk through the entire impact report here, but this is our latest and greatest, hot off the press, Double Up Food Bucks impact report from all of our work in 2024. You can see it has a map of New York State with all of the counties that we are in, the total number of sites, our economic impact, our farmer impact, all of that stuff that are going to be kind of the main questions that your members and that our elected officials are going to be curious about when we are asking them to support the program. It's a really, really great resource, and I would make sure you have copies for yourself and any copies to leave with elected officials as you go to meet with them in meetings. We have some additional resources here as well. The GusSNP Year 4 Impact Report. It has a lot more detail if you want to take a little bit of a deeper dive on the federal program I mentioned earlier, GusSNP, and all of the work that they do at the federal level, supporting nutrition incentive programs and other produce prescription programs similar to ours across the nation. So that just talks about that's their impact report from Year 4. And then we also have a fast fact sheet on the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, just some general facts about it from the American Heart Association. And then the final one here, SNAP Impact in New York State. This was put together. This was a resource that was put together from the Center on Budget and Policy New York State Center on Budget and Policy Priorities. Really gives a good overview at SNAP reach in New York State and the impact that SNAP has. So if, we've had members that we've met with before and they didn't even know what SNAP was. So while I'm sure most of the folks on this call are very familiar and know it like the back of their hand, sometimes elected officials, they got their hands in a lot of buckets and they have a lot of priorities they're working on. So you might be surprised at how often you might have to kind of just go back to the basics, make sure they know what SNAP is before we get into Double Up Food Bucks is a SNAP matching nutrition incentive program. They might have some questions on that. So we made sure to have anything in here you might need to address any of those questions from these members. Similar to last year's toolkit as well, we have some customizable templates and resources for you all to utilize and access on the toolkit here. Now, these are ones that you can take, you can download, use for your own campaigns, and they're meant for you to mark up a little bit. They're templates, so you can fill them in, you can add stuff to them, you can take stuff out, you can cater these templates and resources to your own messaging, to your own organization, and use it to what makes sense for you all. But just as a few examples, we have an email template in here on reaching out to elected officials. So you want to set up a meeting with, your senator or your assembly member to talk to them about your, anti-hunger advocacy priorities, including Double Up Food Bucks, but, you're getting started, not sure how to go. This template has a whole email already written out for you all the way down to the subject line, how to find your members in New York State, who to send the email to, what attachments should be included on the email, the typical email etiquette stuff, anything you might need to send those emails. So we have templates in there for emailing your elected officials. We have a sample meeting invite, reaching out to them to set up these meetings, along with sample agendas in here. How do these meetings look? What should we plan to talk about? How should we pace the meetings? Things like that. All of that good information is in here for you, free for the taking. And then just some other, templates and resources on here, meeting with your elected officials, some things to keep in mind, what to do, what not to do. Sample phone scripts if you want to call your elected officials, say, hey, we don't have the capacity to go meet with them in person, but we really want to set aside a day where we're going to take our organization and some of our partners, and we're just going to call our members and other elected officials in New York State to advocate for everything we're supporting this year, including Double Up Food Bucks. We have a sample phone script that we've put together for you all, so you just have to, who you're calling, what you have to say. You can read right off of these phone scripts here. We tried to make it, the goal of this toolkit is to make advocating for the program as easy as possible for you all. If you find yourselves, looking for something else or needing additional information or anything else, please feel free to reach out to us. We can add, this is, obviously something that we can add into here and make sure you all have it, but we try to do the legwork up front for you all so you don't have to put in, so it's very easy. So the barrier to entry is very low and anybody can come on here to this toolkit, understand what it's trying to do, and access everything they need to get, copy paste it, and be good to go. Just checking to see if there's any questions or anything so far. Oh. All right. I will just keep going down the toolkit here. There's many ways we want to make sure you all stay engaged with us. So if you're not signed up for advocacy alerts or just updates from Field and Fork Network and the Double Up Food Bucks program, highly recommend to just stay up to date. You can click on this button here to sign up. It's just putting in your email address, really, and then you can customize what you get updates about. If you really just only want to be updated whenever there's a call to action or an advocacy alert, you can specifically highlight those regions, and those will be the only things you get notified about. We really don't send out a lot. We send out a monthly newsletter if there's enough going on, which as of lately, I'm sure there's going to be plenty for us to talk about with you all, but there is no more than a monthly newsletter, and there's additional optional things if you would like as well. But definitely stay in touch. That's how you hear about opportunities like this Double Up Advocate training, and it's how you hear about other opportunities like the Day of Action, which is the perfect segue here. As I'm sure a lot of you are already aware, we have gone to Albany and to the New York State Capitol for the past couple of years to advocate for the Double Up Food Bucks program. And we welcome and encourage all of our partners from across the state to come join us in this super fun-filled, action-packed day. If you all are not aware, it is happening next month, Tuesday, February 11th, 2025. You can click on this link here to register. Just as an example, I'll click on it and it will bring you to the registration form. The goal of our Day of Action is just that. We're going to go to the Capitol. We're going to bring our partners with us. We organize all of the meetings. We organize all of the folders. You'll be separated out into teams. So you will have everything that you need to meet with and advocate for the Double Up Food Bucks program on this day. It's a ton of fun. We kick the day off with a press conference. We have our champions in the legislature come. We love to hear from you all. So to the extent you're able to attend and you're like, hey, I love this program. I really want to advocate for it. What else can I do? Is there anything you need? If you want to be more involved, reach out and let us know. We would be more than happy to, have you speak at the press conference if this is something that you're interested in. We're always looking for folks who have used the program, Double Up Food Bucks customers, shoppers, farmers who use the program. Elected officials love hearing from individuals on the ground who are using the program or have direct experience operating and administering the program. Those are the folks that they're interested in their districts, doing this program day in and day out. So we absolutely love to have you all there. But like I said, this is something that we've done all the legwork for you. We set everything up. We make sure you're going there ready for success. We have some talking points in there in case you need any additional talking points. But really, you all are the experts. We tee them up. We give all the, here's the statistics, here's the data that we have on the program. But our goal is to uplift the voices of our partners at the Day of Action. They've heard enough from us. They hear it year after year. But what we really want to do on this day is say, don't take our word for it. Listen to our partners who are joining us from across the state and hear what they have to say about the program. So your voices, your participation in this is so unbelievably important. But yes, so that's all I'm going to say about that. I'll be sure to drop the link in the chat here so you all have this. But if you are not already registered and you want to join us for the Day of Action, you have until the end of the month to do so. So there's still time. Just click the link on the website, or like I said, I'll drop it in the chat below. Please come and join us, and we would love to have you. And then there's other opportunities to get involved. You can support our cause, make a donation here. Just a bunch of different ways that you can get involved and support Double Up Food Bucks. This is a really great video. If you all haven't seen it before, it's a really nice success story about some Double Up Food Bucks partners of ours. I am going to try to play the video for you all here. If it works, fantastic. But just let me know if you all can hear the audio coming through. And if not, no worries. We'll just move on. But really, it really does highlight some of the great work that's happening and the great work of our partners that you all are doing in these communities. Can I get a thumbs up or a thumbs down for folks if you can hear this or not? I did just pause it, but cool. Looks like folks can hear it. So I'm going to let this video play and then I'm going to go to the Q&A. I know there's at least one question in there, so I'm going to let this play and then we will get back to it. Alrighty, it looks like we're having some technical difficulties. So highly encourage you all to go in and watch that video. It's a really great video, but it highlights the work that's happening on the ground here. I am going to turn to the Q&A real quick. So we had a question from Brianna. So what are some of the main reasons that we have not expanded to the counties that we are not in yet? And that is a really great question. So basically, we have a goal by the end of 2027 to expand into all 57 counties outside of New York City. We added 6 or 7 additional counties just in the last year, and we plan to add about 6 to 8 counties each year until we get to that point. So one of the main reasons that we take a couple of different factors into account before we expand into certain areas. We first and foremost, we look at the need. We look at LILA areas. We look at low income, low access areas. What farmers markets, what storefronts, what grocery stores are there that we would be able to partner with that are in these areas that would have the most impact if we were to move into these areas. So that's a part of what we look at. The other side is eligibility. In order to move into certain counties, there has to be grocery stores, farmers markets. There has to be these points of access that accept SNAP. That's the only condition for a farmer's market, mobile market, farm stand, grocery store, et cetera, to participate in the Double Up Food Bucks program, is that they have to accept the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program at their establishment. If they do and they want to accept Double Up Food Bucks, great. We're able to get working with them immediately and help them get set up with the program. That can be one potential barrier to keeping us from getting into certain counties. And then in addition to that, the third thing is just sustainability and capacity. We have a small team here. We are growing and we are really working on massively expanding the program and growing the program. Just recently, actually, just in the past 2 months, we did a massive expansion and launch at many new grocery stores across the state. I know there was at least a couple new counties in there that we were not previously in, but we have really set ourselves up for success and going into these areas over the past couple of years where we have now formed those partnerships, we formed those relationships where now folks are aware of us and they see the benefit of getting the program and they want to have Double Up Food Bucks come to their location. If there are any counties or areas in mind that you all are aware of that do not have a Double Up Food Bucks location or do not have Double Up Food Bucks location nearby or close enough, and you all are like, hey, this location would be great. Why don't they have Double Up Food Bucks yet? To be honest, one of the main reasons are probably just because we are unaware of that location and vice versa. They may not be aware of the Double Up Food Bucks program. And us being, the relatively smaller team that we are located in Buffalo, we do our site visits, we travel across the state to meet our partners and, view these communities and see, where makes the most sense for us to go in. But there are bound to be farmers markets, farm stands, grocery stores that fall through the cracks. So we really do rely heavily on our partners and on other individuals and advocates on the ground like yourselves to say, hey, this is a really great location. and either put them in touch with us or shoot us an email, and we would be more than happy to reach out to them and start that conversation of getting them enrolled in Double Up Food Bucks. It's an ambitious goal to get in every single county outside of New York City by the end of 2027, but we know we are committed to doing so, and if we have the support of our partners as well as New York State, that sustainability piece coming in is huge for that, and we know we're able to do it. We just gotta keep chugging along and make sure the other piece of that is we don't want to grow too quickly. If we grow too quickly and we have all of these sites, we're like, oh my gosh, now we need to sustain this. How do we make sure we sustain this? So, but yes, please feel free to reach out if there's any further questions on that. More than happy to continue that conversation. Had another question here. Is there an easy one-pager that we can share with prospective vendors? That's a really great question. So we do have on our website, there's a whole Double Up Food Bucks website. And that I would just send them directly to that website. It has right on there, it says, are you a customer? Are you a partner? Are you a vendor? They can click on that and get all of the information that they would need. So doubleupnys.com is that website. I believe I have some of my team on here. If any of you would be able to drop that link in the chat, that would be great. But that is usually where that's a great start for folks to go to at least learn a little bit more about the program, get the basic information. If they're still having questions or you're still finding, hey, they need to talk someone through this, just even better, put them in direct contact with us. We will reach out to them and set up a meeting with them, and we will make sure that they get all the information they need, and that they can, access all of that, and we can get them on the path to get going with Double Up Food Bucks. Thank you so much, Tess, for dropping that in the chat there. All right, just transitioning back to the toolkit, we are almost wrapped up, but there is one additional piece to this toolkit that we are super excited about having added into this year, when we call it our Double Up Diaries. So essentially, this is gathering stories, your stories of individuals on the ground, of our partners, of Double Up Food Bucks shoppers who've used the program before and who it's made an impact, who you have a story to share. Obviously, we would love to have you all join us for the Day of Action. Come with us to Albany. We totally understand that everyone has their own priorities. Everyone's going through life. You might not have the capacity to drop everything and come with us to the Day of Action. We totally, totally get it. But there's plenty of other ways for your voice to be heard and for you to get involved with us. And one of the excellent ways to do that is by sharing your story with us through Double Up Diaries. So if you're on the website, you can go here and say, share your story. It's going to ask, are you a community partner or do you use the program specifically? And these are the folks we really want to hear from. Let us know, what is your personal experience with using the program? How did it make an impact in your life? Or if you work at a market, how have you experienced this? How has it impacted you, or how have you seen it impact others? It's just going to ask some questions about, your organization and its role, and just additional questions about your experience with the program. There's a few questions in here. They are not all mandatory. Feel free to answer each and any of them that you think that makes the most sense to really be able to effectively tell your story. Honestly, it could just be a funny anecdote of how, you were laughing and smiling together, or sharing each other's personal food stories. I personally love hearing about everyone's connection to food, and especially, excuse me, in this work. There's a reason that everybody is in this work. Whether it was their grandmother taught them to garden when they were younger, and ever since then, they've always just loved gardening their own tomatoes and growing their own food, or it's the sense of community and starting their own community garden. I love hearing about what gets people inspired to be in this field and in this work. So this is just a great way to share your story with us and make sure your voice is heard. And these are the stories that elected officials like to hear. We can throw statistics at them all day long. We can throw data at them all day long. And, while budget folks might like to hear that, members on the ground, they're going to remember these stories. They're going to remember that emotional connection that meeting had to them. If you can share a moving, compelling story, Those are the things that they're going to remember from these meetings, the hundreds and thousands of meetings that they have every year. So I encourage you all to take the time, especially now if you're following along on your own and you're on the website, please go through, share your own story with Double Up Diaries. We are really super excited about including this edition into the toolkit this year. I'm also going to drop the link right in the chat so you all have that readily available for you. But we're trying to collect as many stories as we can to really help paint the full picture of this is what this program means to folks on the ground. And this is what it looks like in action. So if you get the chance, please fill that out. All right. And as usual, like I mentioned, if you do have any questions, please contact me directly, or you can contact info@fieldandforknetwork.com. If you have any questions about accessing any of these resources or anything that you don't see on here that you might need, please reach out. We are more than happy to get you what you need, set up a meeting to talk things through more, or just address any questions you might have. My final thing I'll leave with you, I know I mentioned it already, definitely, if you're considering it or you're able to talk to, if come alone, that's great. If you are working at an organization, share this with them. Share this with your manager. Share this with your executive director. It is, like I said, on top of everything else, it is a super fun day. We would love to have you all join us for the day of action. We cover lunch. We'll have Double Up Food Bucks swag. We got t-shirts. We got hats. We have pins. It really is a great day and it's a great experience. We really hope everybody can join us, and we're really looking to uplift all of your stories. I'm going to drop that link in the chat here again, just so you all have that for reference. But that is the new and improved Double Up Food Bucks Advocacy Toolkit. Again, really tried to keep it concise this year. We know there's a lot going on. We know there's a lot on your plates. So try to simplify everything and make it super easy for you all to use. I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing my screen. I'm going to stick around for as long as anybody needs me to, but that's the training. You all are going to get half an hour back. So thank you so much for being here. Like I said, if anyone has any questions, please raise your hand, come off mute now, and I'll be around to talk. But yeah, thank you all so much for tuning in. We hope to see you in Albany and advocating with us. Thanks, everybody.